Greetings, fellow space captains. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Starsector, Ashes of the Domain, episode 43, Looking for a Planetkiller. At the start of this stream, I want to explain a little bit more about megastructures to also justify why I am pivoting and reverting what I had previously planned on doing. So, the resources that your empire generates per month is up here. So per month we do 50 ship hulls, 50 heavy armaments, 60 electronic components, 0 domain grade machinery, but that is actually not true. It's just because Nabla's orbital skunk works got sabotaged. So normally that wouldn't be the case. So that's a little misleading. Refined metal and purified transplutonics. And the reason I mention this is this. When you restore megastructures, you have available resources down here in the green and required restoration costs up here. And as you can see, I don't have enough purified transplutonics or refined metals to actually restore the coronal wormhole. Which means that for every month we spend the same amount of money, we still spend like the 1.2 million, but we don't get 1.2 million's worth of restoration because we don't actually have the physical supplies to do the restoration. We're pretty close, you know, it's 150 to 90 and like you can fudge numbers a little bit, but here's the issue. The coronal wormhole is not actually the thing that turns on the hypershunt tap. The coronal collector does. And the collector has a much higher purified transplutonics and refined metals cost for restoration. Much higher. So what I'm going to be doing is pivoting what we are currently working on, and I am going to restore the Pluto mining. So we have discovered a few different megastructures in the galaxy, and I'm just going to quickly cover what we have found so far. There is the Nidavellir complex, which is essentially an orbital works. It makes ships. That's what it does. And then we have also found the Pluto mining station, which mines and refines metals. In order to be able to afford large-scale megastructure restoration, getting the Pluto mining station up and running would be ideal. And the benefit to this is also that we don't actually have to colonize Alpha Zumazi to be able to restore the Pluto mining station. So my current priority right now is restoring Pluto mining station, and then once we've done that, I would like to have a rematch against the Veil. It might take me a few tries, but I've done it off stream, not in this series, but I've done it off stream and had a bit more practice doing it. So to that end, I would like to start manufacturing a few more Paragons. The problem is, we had our orbital skunk works like knocked offline. So we still have one production facility, which is at Raveno, but it's only heavy industry and being upgraded. But that's fine. So I queued up 2 more Paragons, and then what I want to do is make sure that I have the weapons for said Paragons. Oops, that's not what I meant to click. This is my ship, right? Maybe I should be more careful about what I click. Yes, this is my TAC Lance ship. Perfect. Okay. So the other Paragons. Autopulse lasers. I have got 8 spare. That's perfect. Burst PDs. I've got 43. That's plenty. Grav. I've got 10. That's fine. Pulse lasers. I didn't realize I had pulse lasers. Honestly, I don't love the fact that there's pulse lasers on here. I think there would be better mounted slots, but we do have plenty of pulse lasers. Heavy burst. I have 9. So I don't think I actually... And then TAC lasers, I'm sure I have plenty. Yeah, I have plenty. So I don't actually think we need to manufacture any weapons for the new Paragons. So I'm not going to bother doing that. I think we're all set. We got that covered. All right. So with all that said and done, let's go ahead and go restore the Pluto mining station. And so that we can actually start to afford some of the mega projects. So the Pluto mining station is here. I'm probably going to want more fuel. Yeah, it looks about right. Perfect. All right, let's gate as close as we can get to it and get it restored. And in the meantime, I am putting a pause on the coronal hypershunt. So we are still going to have to pay the monthly running costs for claiming the coronal hypershunt of 17,000. That's unavoidable, but that's fine. I'm okay with paying that, as we will eventually use it in the long run once we have some more refined metals to be able to afford its true restoration. All right, Red Fox just got the crystallizer, which gives us some more metals, and I'm going to upgrade this to the polycrystallizer for even more refined metals. So up here, we went from like 90 to 130, so it's already increasing. How do you make use of the Pluto mining station without colonizing the associated world? It is a mining station. Basically, the mining station is mining the world, so you don't actually need to colonize the world at all. Kind of like how you don't colonize a sun, or a star rather, when you claim the coronal hypershunt. Very similar mechanic there. The hypershunt is using the star's energy. The mining station is using the planet's minerals. So there we go. Establish an outpost, and that's it. I've now claimed it. So here in the megastructures, here is what the Pluto mining station does. Restoring the base section here requires 100 refined metal month cost. We generate 130, and 60 transplutonics. We have 100. What we don't currently have is the domain grade machinery, and that's because our orbital skunk works is offline. So I'm going to wait to restore the Pluto mining station for when our orbital works gets back online. So the orbital optical command nexus here, this section, allows the extraction of ores and transplutonic ores by laser. The next section, the purification core, for each of the ore dedicated to the section, we gain refined metal supply and refined transplutonic, or purified transplutonic supply. And then the last one gives an additional metal and transplutonic supply. So basically, this is a giant mining forge, if you will. And once this is fully online, it will be able to add a lot more monthly refined metals and purified transplutonics so that we can actually afford some true megastructure restoration. Joe True, thank you for the resub. And TMIR too. Cheers. I also missed a hydrate. And a dog treat. Here you go, bud. All right, so now that that's done, I do have a question for you early birds. Should I reach a permanent agreement with the Pathers? So, the Pathers are, at the moment, the only colony threat that I'm getting. That's not where the poll should be. Yoink. And there is a way to counteract Ludic path cells. It's a little distasteful, but without spoiling too much, the TLDR is that they want me to give them a defunct Planetkiller weapon, and then they will never bother me again. And the reason why I would want to do this is the Pathers are what actually shut down the Orbital Skunkworks facility, which disrupted my skunkworks for 70 days. It kind of sucks to have them harassing me, because it's really ruining my ability to actually build an empire with them terroristically sabotaging my infrastructure. And I could just be a little errand boy for them for I don't know, a month or so, fetch the thing they want, and then have them go away forever. Meaning that they will never be a colony threat to us, and I won't have to constantly blow up their bases. In the meantime, I would like to blow up their bases. Especially if you guys vote no. If it was up to me, I would shut down their colony crisis event, so that the only crisis event that I have left is the hegemony. And that way I can focus solely on the hegemony and then expand empire building. Because if I do start colonizing more planets, if the planets aren't clustered near Beta Vrigri or Tarshish, but are elsewhere, I'm going to have so many Pather bases. The problem is the Pather bases tend to be like regionally clustered. So if I colonize something in, let's say, Delta Vrigri, it might be a Pather base that covers both of them. But if I colonize, like say, Raynox, I'm going to get a third Pather base up there. And if I colonize something in Enyang, I'm going to get a fourth Pather base. And then it eventually gets to a point where you're just like constantly chasing after Pather bases, like you're swatting flies or something. It gets, in my opinion, kind of annoying. Which is why shutting them down once and for all is ideal, in the same way that I did with the agreement with the Ludic Church, right? I didn't want the Knights of Lud coming around, so I was just like, hey, you know what? Stop immigrating to my planets. And the Knights of Lud were like, okay. Because ultimately the motivations for our empire is we want to pursue building an empire likened to pre-domain collapse. Basically, we're an empire builder on a scale that this galaxy hasn't seen since the collapse. And we don't really care about anything. We just don't want anything to get in our way. Or at least that's my thinking on the matter. So it looks like, given my explanation, it looks like we eked out a yes by small margin. So what I'm going to do is try to find a resolution with Pathers. It doesn't necessarily mean we are going to ally them or anything. We're just going to stop them from being horrible to us. Won't they use the weapon against us? It's a defunct weapon. That was very carefully chosen words. The weapon does not work. They just want it because they could threaten other people to think they work. So right now we have a Pather base where? In Zeta Zener? Man, they really like to go back to their stomping grounds. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take enough ships that they're not going to try to gank me and go to Zeta Zener and be like, hey, can we come to some sort of agreement and see what they say? Okay, we are all set. Assigning pilots. Wow, we filled every role. My goodness. I will also take the tugs. And the salvage ship. And the mule. Alright, let's head over to Zeta Zener. And cheers. Pather cells still appear on your planets even with the agreement? No? No. They'll be sleeper cells. They won't actually be active cells. So you do shut them down. In other words. Owie, owie, storm damage. All right, where's their base? Hyperspace topography. Oh yeah. Poor Wisp Harbor. All right, opening comms with Nessus Cedars. All right. I need you to stop sabotaging my industries. He takes your words in for a moment, thinking. Wide is the chasm between us, he says. You know our aims and our resolve. We know of the madness which drives you to construct even larger shrines to Moloch. Alas, if but our prayers were answered, if but your heart was not deaf to Lud's word. At an impasse, we resort to a holy war, but perhaps you and I could explore an alternative. I am not without compromise, despite the lies you've been told. You're open to some kind of deal then? A hint of a smile crosses his lips. We understand one another. There is little we want from you. Not credits, not ships. However, he pauses deliberately. There is something. It would persuade me, and the others of like mind in my organization, to set aside the purification of your industries until Armageddon, of course, when our armies will meet yours in final battle. But until that glorious day, you could enjoy your trinkets and idols. What is it that you want? Speak plainly. He gives a nod. One Planetkiller weapon. I see by your face that you know of these abominations, that unholy craft of the Dominion, murderer of Opus and its billions, of Henna, Pacha, and countless others. I know where one may be found. Bring it to me, and our holy war against you shall end. He lowers his head just a little, until the end of the world. A Planetkiller for peace, then. Where do I need to go? Pather taps something on a datapad, opening a shared data space. There's a den of abominations that you would call a Nexus remnant, Nexus, which contains data about the hegemony fleet that had a Planetkiller. It is in the Visago system. He holds up a hand in anticipation of your questions. We have confirmed that this Tritachyon source is reliable. Their data matches hegemony records concerning a strategic data breach and a subsequent fleet loss during the first AI war. Don't look so surprised, Captain, he said childishly. Faith in Ludd's word does not contradict worldly expertise. I'll find the Planetkiller weapon and return it to you. As long as the Pathers don't use the Planetkiller on you, then it is not your problem. Maybe they'll just throw it back in the black hole. Who can say? I shall pray for your safe return, he says without irony. The thing is, my empire is not a singular planet. So a single Planetkiller weapon does not particularly scare me. In other words. So let's go up to Visago and fetch a Planetkiller weapon for the Pathers. Bit of making a deal with the devil, but you know, all in the name of science. They are terrorists, they sure are. Oh, look at that. Raveno just had an incident, but it was averted by local sector forces, security forces. So annoying. Dolio, you are... Oh, not Dolio. Nabla, 49 days for the Skunk Works to come back. Alright, so if I'm heading up to destroy a pre-collapse AI fleet, it also seems to be very far away, so let's take the other fuel ship. That's probably more crew than I need. Oh wait, that's oh yeah, no, this is the crew that I've already hired. Cap our fuel off, and that looks about right. All right, we need to go to somewhere called Visago. Maybe... Oh, I was totally in the wrong spot. Oh, it's pretty close to the gate at Gamma Xanth. Perfect. And this is the Scythe of Orion questline. Which, in part of it, resolves the Pather crisis. As far as colony threats go right now, the only colony crisis that I have at the moment is the Luddic Path. Once I resolve this, it's time to meddle with AI cores, I think. And to start upgrading our empire with the cores. But we're not quite there yet. So I'm here in the Visago system looking for a remnant, a Nexus remnant. Or remnant Nexus. I have no idea where it would be, though. Well, I am getting blips. Hello. And I have a big enough fleet that they're just going to leave me alone. I intentionally brought, like, a mega fleet. I'm going to reassign all of the captains, though, so that they're in the best possible roles. I wish there was, like, a strip all mercenaries button. There we go. Okay. And let's try to find that Nexus and blow it up. There it is. So it's a damaged Nexus. And it is lightly guarded. Move to engage. And let's put in the Aurora captains that are not leveled up yet. If I could find them. They're in tugs? Yeah, they're in tugs. Okay, never mind. What happens if you would use the weapon on the Pathers? It's not a weapon. Again, it's a defunct thing. It does not work. It's like a nuke without an arming core, but it's far more than a nuke. It'd be like a antimatter bomb without an arming core. Basically, it is the concept of a weapon that does not work any longer. So this is a Remnant Nexus. It's very different than the types of bases that us humans make, as you can tell. Yo, Aurora, you might want to get out of there, bud. Did you not heed any warnings? Get out. Okay, you are just being like a drunk driver here. Move it. You're not only in the way and blowing up, but you're blocking my fire. And you overloaded yourself. Good job. Not all pilots are the same intelligence. I could have issued them an order, but they were already in so deep that there wasn't really anything to be done about their kamikaze run. Alright, I'm waiting for the Pegasi to hone in on the station. But a lot of the individual sections are getting blown up. This one, because it's pre-damaged, it doesn't have the full complement of weapons and shields that a normal Nexus would. Come on, Pegasus, get in there. I've been blowing up this base by myself this entire time. You're cordially invited to do the one thing I pay you to do. Blow up my enemies. There we go. Now we're getting at least some squall spam. That's a start. And down it goes. Honestly, I don't think they really assisted me at all, but I could pretend. Now I have to go chase down the enemies, because the Aurora fanned out and dragged everyone away. They're doing okay, though. But they're only against Fulgence. Blow him up! Oh my god. Alright, you get over here. I am tired of just trying to chase a Fulgent. In fact, let's do this. Everyone rendezvous to me. dragging the enemies in. So, like, remnants, given that they're AI, like, never flee or anything, which means they'll never try to retreat. So we're just here until they blow up. And I just want to blow them up ASAP. And the Auroras aren't good enough to blow them up on their own. My ship is literally designed to blow up smaller remnant ships. That's what the tack lances are excellent at, because they shred through shields and then EMP blast the remnants of the ship. All right, everybody go kill that Fulgent. Yeah, you can see, I see in chat, you can see why I'm doing this as a priority, because they've been sabotaging my industries, which slows down my empire building. So when it was just Pathers, like, reducing stability by 1, it's like, okay, whatever. But when they're knocking out my orbital skunkworks, it's like, okay, we need to do something about this. Because that's, you know, unacceptable. Yo, Aurora, can you stop kiting and just drag it to us? Dear Lord. Come on. There we go. Okay. Data recovery from a Tritac War AI Nexus is laborious due to the unusual hardware and the AI-designed data architecture, which seems to delight in confounding idiosyncrasies. I've heard speculation that it's like art to them, your tech officer says, noticing your attention to the AIs, I mean. Like poetry expressed through mathematics. You know what to look for, however, which makes the often unprofitably onerous data analysis yield results more quickly. Investigate the Gaia system. And we lost. Wow, you got, oof, demodded up the wazoo. And we got an alpha core out of that, as well as some weapons. All right. So, Gaia, where is that? That is significantly west of us, but we can go back to Gamma Xanth and gate over to Gamma Anyang. That's going to be the shortest path. Before we go any further, let's check up on our colonies. So, Skunkworks is down for 33 more days. Tarmarin is having some shortages of heavy machinery and ship components, but that's probably because I queued up the Paragons, and the Paragons are using those things, and that's the problem. Raveno's still working on heavy industry in 36 days. Has a little bit of shortages of food and organics, but not bad. And then Red Fox is getting its polycrystallizer now, too. So we're looking pretty good. We're in good shape. Oh, there's a pirate base. A bounty for pirate base here. Let's just do it. I mean, it's money and we have a big fleet, so... Hello, ma'am. When in Rome, blow up the Romans. Cheers. That's a cool name. Then Wolf's called Ultramancer. Not ultra enough. Swap out the Tug's pilots? I probably should. But the amount of XP earned from a fight like this is pretty negligible because of our fleet size. The XP rewarded as a result of winning relates to how strong the enemy is compared to how strong you are. So when I'm roaming around with my, like, super fleet, it would take quite the enemy for the XP to matter. Like, destroying the Knowledge of Veil fight, for instance. Come on. Was hoping to be able to destroy that side. The Pegasi are just like blowing up the spurs, but the spurs don't really matter. I hope there's a bounty on this. I actually didn't check. There was an exclamation mark, usually indicating that there's like a bounty out for the destruction of the station, but I didn't verify who was paying for it. Alright, Aurora, parking yourself right in front of the DPS ship is, like, not a good idea. And then bumping me? For real? My dude. I'm gonna revoke your pilot's license. Huh. A pirate atlas. Cute. I didn't notice that they had so much... Well, they did have that big fleet coming to assist, I guess. So we're just fighting the remnants of that. Alright, we've won. Murph spam, bye-bye. That's good enough. Oh, the Persean League really liked that, which is good, because my reputation with the Persean League sucked, so I went up by 10 blowing that base up. Didn't get a lot of bounty, like 70k, which is, in the scheme of things, not very much money, but the rep bonus for the Persean League is great. Because, our ability to do trade in the galaxy is reliant upon having good relations with the other factions, because that's who we're trading with. And my relation with Sindrian and Persean is pretty bad right now. And it's about to get pretty bad with the Hedge, too, if we're going to be using AI cores. So, in order to fund our science and empire building, we still need good faction relations with the other factions. So, trying to improve faction relations with Sindrian and Persean would be worth our time, especially if it's easy to do. Alright. So, Giaya, or whatever it's called. Guava. Nope. Guaya. Research tree update. So there isn't any research that we can get. All of the research that we have requires us to clear the veil. Which is maybe something we focus on soon. Production. We have one of the two Paragons done. The other one is going to be in 50 days. And then Nobla is still offline for 19 more days. So this, as many of you probably know, is the Sentinel world. I'm not going to read the whole story because I've done the Sentinel world multiple times in previous runs. The TLDR is that it is a AI war... the descendants of AI war veterans that then got separated out from the rest of the core. So that's who I'm talking to. So, it's the Lost Colony on Sentinel. And because I've done this so many times, I don't want to like spend the time to go through it. I'm just going to actually, this isn't why I'm here anyway, technically speaking. But they, the TLDR is they asked me to go tell the hegemony that they exist, and to please have the hegemony like send people to pick them up, basically. Inside these central gantries, there is some stuff. So this is old 14th ships that I'm going to take and scuttle. I don't have any interest in them. Because they're 14th battle group ships, which means they're like harder armor, but like they're not ship types that I particularly care for. Not mothball, scuttle. Okay, but the real reason we're here is the tech cache that has the Planetkiller weapon. So we gotta go find that. Do I have any leads about specifically where it's gonna be? Let's see. No. Just somewhere in this sector. Could I not add it to the Home Guard fleets? No, that's not the way Home Guard fleets work. The way Home Guard fleets work, if you're interested, is the fleets that you use in your typical heavy patrol are the ships that you have blueprints for. They're manufactured by your own planets. You can't just like pluck ships and the whole Home Guard fleet concept is something that Nexrelin adds, and I'm not running Nexrelin, so I can't take ships and add it to anything. All there would be to do with them is to dry dock them, and I don't want to do that because I don't need that. So this is the tech cache, the hidden cache here, but there was just a bunch of ships around that I'm stripping for parts. As well as a lieutenant. Let's see if it's a lieutenant that's better than the ones we have. So you have elite damage control. No, I don't need you. You're also timid, so bye-bye. Your fleet approaches a hidden cache. A cache hidden deep in a deep well inside a large asteroid. And here is its defenders. So it's a bunch of automated battleships. So they're like pseudo-remnant, if you will. And here we go. Now I might take some of these, but I don't particularly enjoy using automated ships. I like using ships that we can manufacture ourselves. But they're unique enough that they're good trophies, I suppose. Hi, Onslaught, you're gonna regret that. It's getting, like, triple teamed by the two Paragons and me. This thing is going bye-bye quick. Alright, and there's an automated Legion. And... oops. You get over here. Nope, the Aurora blew itself up. That's been a common theme of the Auroras, just like... oh, and it wasn't even that Aurora. I think it was the Aurora fighting the Legion. But the Aurora is just like going off on their own, dragging the enemies so far away from the actual fight, and then blowing themselves up. But since I don't really care about the economy of recovering an Aurora, it's not really a big deal. There's so much debris between me and the Enforcer, I can't even shoot it. There we go. Alright, cache cleared. Thank you for watching Starsector Ashes of the Domain, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, fellow captains.